Hi guys, so you've just received your brand new MyoChill Plus. We're about to open it up. Please make sure you're careful when moving the MyoChill Plus. It is a much bigger, much heavier chiller unit than our classic MyoChill. Now you have your MyoChill Plus, we're gonna go and set it up. Firstly, we're going to remove it from its box. So nice and simply, once you open it up, you will see a user manual, which obviously has an easy how-to steps to get it set up. Then you're gonna have your pipes to connect to your ice bath, some connectors, a connector to remove your filter, and then we're ready to get your chiller out. When removing the chiller, and you've got the top polystyrene out, if you slide your hands down the side, you'll feel two handles. These allow you to grip the chiller and slide it out of its box. So now we've got the MyoChill out of all its packaging. You have the MyoChill plug, you have an RCD switch off. This basically protects you against anything that happens. So if anything was ever to go wrong with the chiller, it automatically switches off power to the chiller to protect the chiller, but also the user. So when you plug it in, just press reset, press test to make sure it all works correctly. Then on the chiller itself, there's a few compartments. So firstly, there's a screen, how we can control it, but we can also use the app for this. At the side, there's a fan which is going to draw the heat from the water. So there needs to be good airflow around this fan. It can't be pressed up against a wall or inside a box because ultimately that will create a greenhouse around the chiller. We want good airflow to this section. When we turn it around, we'll unscrew these caps, which is where we will attach our piping for our ice baths. So we'll unscrew that. Now they're ready to attach our piping, which will connect to an ice bath. And then just the last point, when we're taking this in and we're packing it away, because it might be winter, it might get towards freezing temperature outside, we don't want to leave this on when it's frozen because a lot of the compartments inside can freeze, and when water freezes it expands and this can crack the pipes. So we can lift the chiller up, and on the bottom here you can see a green plug down here. We can unscrew that. That will empty the bucket of water, so it'll get all the water out of the system. We screw it back on before we pack it away for the winter. And then finally, we have the filter housing here that we can unscrew or use our little device if it's too tight to change our filter cartridge. Now we're going to attach the MyoChill Plus. So now we're going to get our connectors. You've got one bag of spare parts, which we don't need just yet. And then we've got a bag with different connectors in. What we're going to start with is the two hoses that come with the chiller already have two connectors on one end, the other end they don't. That attaches to your ice bath, this end attaches to your chiller. On the inside of these, we need to fit some black washers. So you're going to find two black washers out of your bag, and on the inside of these connectors, you can see there's no washer, so we're going to slot it in. That will create a waterproof seal. Now we've got the washer inside the connector, we're going to screw each of the tubes with our hand onto the end of the chiller. So we just want to do it all the way until we feel it start tightening. And as it tightens, just nick it tight. We don't want to go crazy tight, just hand tighten. Now we're going to repeat with the second connector on the second part of your chiller. So again, we just screw it, keep this out of the way. We don't want to grab that. We're doing it by hand all the way till it starts to tighten, and then we just nick it up, not too tight, just hand tighten. Now they're both connected to your ice bath. The top one will go into the highest point of your ice bath, and the bottom one will go into the lowest point of your ice bath. Now we're going to get your quick release connectors. So if your ice bath has a screw on section, you use what's already in, so you pull it back, pop the ends out. These will screw onto your ice bath, and then you can connect your connectors. Or if you have a MyoIce Pro, MyoIce Elite, or MyoFreeze, these have a screw-in connector. So these are slightly different, still a quick release, but these are going to screw into your ice bath. And we recommend using the white PTFT tape to wrap around 4 to 5 times before screwing into your ice bath, so that it creates a nice waterproof seal. And once these are on your ice bath, we will then connect the ends of these to the ends of our pipes by placing the end of the connector on. Again, we want to get it nice and secure on there. If you want to go the full length, you can always soak the end of the rubber tubing in some boiling water in a mug. For about 30 seconds, it will soften it, and then you can push on further. But that's nice and tight for me. Anyway, we're going to repeat this on both sections and connect it to your ice bath. So one really important part of the setup, once you connect your ice bath full of water, you'll find is this connector here will start bringing water out. The reason for this is to get the air out of the system. So your filter will start dry with nothing in, and then what you'll see is it goes all the way up, and once it reaches this point and water's coming out, it means that this is full of water and we've got rid of any air. So now we turn the lock here, so we carefully hold it firm, and what we're going to do is turn the tap round to 90 degrees to stop the water. Now we've primed the system full of water, we're ready to turn the chiller on. So now your chiller is all primed, we've turned off the water valve, the filter is full of water, we've plugged it in, we've pressed the reset button on the RCD, so now your chiller has power. You know it has power because the Wi-Fi logo starts flashing, which means that we're ready to go. To turn the chiller on, we hold the power button for 3 seconds. It will kick in, and now the pump is circulating the water. We can check in the ice bath that it's nice and circulated. If it isn't, then it means that we haven't primed it properly with the switch at the back to let the stream of water go. But if you follow the steps, everything should now be circulating and switched on. Now we can set our temperature to our desired temperature, and we can change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. So 9 degrees, I want it down to 5 degrees. So now it's set to 5 degrees. We'll leave it for a second and then it will switch off. Now it goes back to current water temperature is 8 degrees. And then if I tap ozone, it will light up the ozone. And this switches on the automatic ozone feature within the MyoChill Plus that will run for 30 minutes every 4 hours to keep your water crystal clear. Also, we can now download the app and control this from our smartphone. So now to set up the app, we're going to open the instruction manual and there's 2 apps we can connect to the chiller. I'm going to get my camera and place it over the first one until a section comes up that we click to take us through to download the app. So now I've downloaded the Tuya app, I just tap on it, it'll take me through to the app, and we're going to go back to the MyoChill Plus to connect it. So now we're back at your chiller, we're going to hold the power button for 3 seconds and turn it off. Once that happens, we're going to hold the FC button for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Once the screen flashes, like you just saw, it means that the Wi-Fi is now enabled. When I'm on my Tuya app, it has now popped up with the MyoChill. So I can add this device, the MyoChill Plus. It will ask you to add your Wi-Fi so that you're on the same system. So you make sure you add your Wi-Fi and the password through, and then it will connect to the system. So your MyoChill Plus connects to your Wi-Fi signal and the app, and then once it's connected, it will then download. So it will take a few minutes to download the chiller onto the app. And once it's downloaded, we can then access the chiller from your app. So as you can see, it's switched off. Once I tap the on button, the chiller turns on. It's already set up. I can then change the temperature I require, 6, 7. I'll go back down to 5. Now it's set to 5. I can turn my ozone on and off if I want to. So I want ozone on. So when ozone's on, it will light up at the top to say that it's on. So I click ozone on. Lights on, it means it's now on and working. And now I can see what temperature my chiller is at any time. I can change the temperature and see it all from the ease of my smartphone. So once you've set the temperature, you'll notice that your MyoChill is flashing and the fan switches off. This is just why the system warms back up, and that takes 3 minutes. Once that's happened, it will all turn back on and then start chilling your water again. So that is the simple how-to video on setting up your MyoChill Plus. We hope you love it and love the double power this big bad boy gives. So any questions, obviously contact us at contact@myomaster.com for our customer service team, but we hope you love it. Enjoy the awesome benefits of the MyoChill Plus.